Hi YouTube, my name is Minty and welcome to my channel again. Today's video is going to be, what should my first car be? So, I have quite a lot of experience with vehicles at this point in my life. I'm currently 25 years old and I believe I am up to 15 total different vehicles that I have owned. Normally you get a car every 5-10 years, so I think I'm a little bit on the higher side of vehicles. Got my first car at 18. It was a red Volvo S40 2005, I believe. And then all the way through, I've had everything and anything in between. I've had a Ford Raptor. I've had two Ford Fusions, a Fusion Sport, Jaguar XKR, Jeep SRT, Tesla Plaid, Audi RS7. So I've had quite a variety of vehicles. Now, I've made a lot of costly mistakes, and with that, I can give you guys a little guidance. If I was to go back in time and buy my first vehicle, I would look at Japanese imports. So we're talking about Toyota, Honda, and then their luxury lineups, which is Toyota's is Lexus and Honda is Acura. These vehicles are going to retain the best value. They're going to be the most reliable. And they'll have good gas mileage. But gas mileage is also dependent on the engine. If you have a big engine vehicle, it's going to use more gas. So for example, the Toyota 4Runner doesn't get the best gas mileage, but that's given being that it's a naturally aspirated engine. So with that being said, if I were to go back, I would obviously, depending on budget, I would pick either Toyota, Honda, Lexus, or Acura. Whenever you're doing your first vehicle purchase, you want to take someone that knows about vehicles with you. Typically, when you're in the few $1,000 price range, you're going to be looking at Facebook Marketplace. So you're going to be likely buying it from a private party. Private party is like a person like myself or your friend that's selling a vehicle. It is not a dealership, and it is not someone that's licensed to sell vehicles. Everyone can sell vehicles privately, but there's obviously a limit before they become a dealership. This is what's going to allow you to buy a vehicle for the lowest price point, because dealerships obviously have overhead. So for them, moving a lot of small number of, value vehicles is not in most of their interests. And if you do buy a smaller value vehicle, like in the few thousands, it's likely that the vehicle you buy, they're going to upcharge you quite a bit on it, because that's how they make their margins. So with that being said, I would look at Honda Accords, Toyota Camrys, Corollas. Those would be my picks. The Prius is also a great option, one of the best gas mileage vehicles. It is an ugly vehicle, except the new one. The new one looks pretty nice, but we're talking low price point here. So likely you're going to get an older model. Now, it is important to have someone that can test the batteries on these, because batteries can be very, very expensive. If they go bad, you can find someone that can swap in a new cell for not as much as, for example, the dealership. So now those are the vehicles that I would recommend buying. What would I avoid? Now, my first vehicle ever was actually going to be a Range Rover. Terrible decision. I'm glad I didn't do it. What I did is there was an app where I can actually call a mechanic. It was about $150. A mechanic came to me and did a pre-purchase inspection. He drove around the vehicle and looked at me and said, "This is not a great vehicle. This vehicle will not even go above 60 miles per hour. It's going to be a money pit. I do not recommend it." And I took his words wisely. But I always liked the style of the vehicle, but I just knew it was not the right vehicle to buy. BMW. Awesome vehicles, peppy vehicles, pretty fast, fun, not reliable, very expensive to maintain, difficult to fix. So typically you need to take it to a mechanic, and it's very expensive to work on them. Not only that, you're going to be talking about European oil changes, so it's going to be more expensive. Mercedes. I love the Mercedes lineups. The C300s are pretty cool. You have your AMG 63, the E63, E63S, all amazing looking vehicles. Don't recommend them. I had a friend with both a BMW and Mercedes. He said, hey, I'm going to sell my Mercedes E63S, switch over to BMW. He got an M6. The motor ended up blowing itself up, welding itself together, and it was like a $20,000 repair. So that is why I say avoid BMW, avoid Mercedes. If you're going to buy them with a warranty or an extended warranty. What is an extended warranty? When you're buying a used vehicle from a dealership, you can often buy something called an extended warranty. They have very specific terms, so it's very important to read on them and read on the company that's going to be providing you the extended warranty. Why? Because extended warranties make money by not paying you out. So you always want to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into and that the companies actually pay out without you having to put up a big fight. If you were to buy one of these vehicles, I actually recommend going through CarMax. Why? CarMax has something called MaxCare. It's an extended warranty, but it covers a lot and you don't have to fight with them. And they often provide you a loaner vehicle or one of their vehicles to drive in the meantime. My first Fusion I bought with a MaxCare warranty. The cooler system went out. Guess what? They helped me get in a vehicle, and not only that, I was 19 or 20 at the time, and they helped bypass that to get me a rental when no one else could provide me a rental. That was awesome. And Doug DeMiro did a great video on this when he bought a Range Rover, I believe, and spent tens of thousands of dollars on repairs, but it was all covered through MaxCare. So I highly recommend MaxCare if you decide to go with one of these brands. My takeaway on vehicles is find a vehicle that works for you, fits your needs first, allows you to save money, and isn't a money pit. Vehicles are one way that it keeps people without money. So I highly recommend you steer away from expensive vehicles. I've had all vehicles in between, from a few $1,000s up to $120,000 vehicles. I can tell you that I thought, some vehicles were going to be awesome, make you happy. That's not the case. Vehicles are just a way of transportation, and if you decide to modify them for car shows, etc., that's cool. But make sure that it fits your overall needs and you can afford it. And for example, if you want to spend all your money on vehicles and that makes you happy, then so be it, right? Nobody's going to tell you what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy. But I'd highly recommend, if it's your first vehicle, go with something reliable. Doesn't have to be the nicest thing ever. Realistically, you're not going to have that vehicle forever. Once you buy that vehicle, eventually you can build up your credit, and you can also trade in that vehicle, sell that vehicle, use that money towards a new vehicle. And that's my thoughts on it. The other thing is insurances can be very expensive for young people. So an older vehicle is going to often be cheaper on insurance by significant amounts. There was a period in time where I had 3 or 4 vehicles and my insurance was over $1,000 a month. No accidents at that time. So that's just to give you a general idea of how bad it could be. So that's my take. Get a reliable vehicle. If you want a more flashy, showy vehicle, you can do that too. But understand that it's going to be a money sink, and it's a 5-year commitment for most vehicles. You can get shorter terms or longer terms. It's often going to be a 5-year term. So that's my take on vehicles. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you have any questions regarding vehicles you're considering, leave a comment down below and I'll see how I can help. Bye.